You see any leaks back there around the engine? It sounds like it's all coming out the back. 2, 3, 4. On today's episode of Watch JR Go, we are here at the abandoned mini resort that's not very abandoned anymore. And today, we're gonna try to get my jet boat running. It's been a long time. What is going on, guys? I am Watch JR Go, and today, like I said, we are here with my, I don't know, like 1979 Spectra jet boat, finished in the metallic root beer. I love the way this boat looks. The last time it was out was when Weston was here, and we took his mini jet boat out and we spent a whole day comparing the two jet boats. How's the chaparral? Yeah, I just keep my hand on it because it automatically kind of goes back towards neutral. And at the end of the day, I think we all decided that this is a real boat, and the mini jet boat, we were just beat. I mean, it sends shocks through your back that you couldn't imagine. So since then, Weston put better seats in his jet boat, but this thing was just gliding across the water. We were having a blast, and of course it sounds like a big truck with the muffler cut off, so it's pretty funny. So I had my buddies at Grand Lake Watercraft come out here and winterize it because there was just a time when we couldn't get up here. Well, and it was also the middle of winter. It was about to freeze, and I would have had to drive, 6 hours just to pull the plugs out of the engine. So shout out to Grand Lake Watercraft. They ran over here, pulled the plugs out for me, and then it's been about 6 months since I've really been here, and we were like, well, we're gonna take this thing out one more time and we're gonna sell it. So the game plan for today is get it ready and then sell it. Well, it's pretty filthy. Hopefully the water in the lake takes care of a lot of that. And of course, I'm gonna have to take it home, detail it, get some of these dirt streaks off of it there. I think a lot of that's just from us pulling the cover off, but she was a little dirty, and then we're gonna need a 303, the whole interior, all that good stuff. But when we got here, the plugs that go in the engine were toast. So I don't know how this happened. They look like tapered plugs. I'm not sure they're supposed to be tapered plugs. Really not sure what's going on with that, but either way, it seems like the wrong plug for this engine, this old 454. So let's open up the back and I'll show you guys what we're working with here. So I made a trip to the local hardware store and we bought a little pipe brush here, a 3/8 pipe brush, which is iffy because we're working with a 1/4-inch hole here. Interesting that they seem the same. What's going on with that? This is 3/8 for sure. It says right on it. But basically I have tried to get those plugs to start, and they won't start no matter what I do. And they seem to be 3/8, but in reality, once I went and compared them, the thread pitch and the size, they look like 1/4-inch. So what we bought were some 1/4-inch brass plugs here, and we're gonna try to get this all going again. So basically there's a plug right in front of the starter on these boats if you're doing this yourself. One is like right here between the oil dipstick and the starter. So right here, there's one, and on the other side, there's one that's quite a bit forward of that, almost centered on the intake there. And those two plugs, you use them to drain all the water, all the lake water out of the engine, just to make sure that there's nothing freezing in the engine and cracking it over the winter. And of course, you'll want to have the plug out of the boat too, but I think we're good to go if we can just get the engine plugs back in. But I've spent 45 plus minutes, maybe even an hour, trying to get those things started, thinking that maybe I just didn't have it straight, because this one over here is angled like this. Good luck. It's angled straight towards the stringer in the boat, and on the other side it's straight. So I've tried both of them quite a bit, thinking I was doing something wrong, but after working on it, I don't think I was. I think that the plugs are just ruined, so after buying a couple new ones, hopefully we can make this work. We're also going to wrap them with a little bit of Teflon. I think when I've done those on engines before, we put a little bit of Teflon in there. So first off, we're going to try to clean the threads out. I did flush it out. I hooked the water up to the engine and fired it up for a minute, and there was a little bit of debris and stuff like that in there, so I'm hoping that just flushing the engine out with fresh water will help. I don't know, but also hopefully chasing the threads with this brush here will solve the rest of the issue. You kind of have to do all this by feel, but right in front of the starter, there's that boss, and I got it in there. Wow, I didn't know if I was even going to be able to get that in there, but you can sure hear it going through the threads. We'll give it a good spin. Hey, Kurt's home. Oh man, I'm telling you guys, this is not a fun job. I keep wanting to come down here and be a boat mechanic with Cody for a little bit at Grand Lake Watercraft. Just, it'd be nice to spend a day working on boats, I think. But I think I was thinking about the water and not about the boats. Boats are the worst place to work on engines, aren't they? All right. How are we doing in here? I mean, that was a lot of trash that just exploded all over my hand, so it also crushed a lot of the wire brush, but it might be worth it all in the end. It might let this thing start. I'm off to the other side. Let's keep going. There's still water dripping out of it from my rinse. Oh, that one went all the way in. The other one you really couldn't get in. I'm inside the block. Ooh-ah! Or inside the coolant passage, that is. Well, that one, nothing came out. But hopefully now, I'm gonna grab a little Teflon tape and see if we can get these plugs in here. All I need to do is make this thing run, and then we're gonna take it home and unload it. I definitely love this boat. It was super fun, but like, I think I've taken it out once, maybe twice. So I don't want it sitting around if I'm never gonna take it out. If this works, a new brass plug with a little Teflon on it, after all of the work that I've spent this morning, I'll almost be upset. I don't know. I really think that the plugs that came out were tapered thread, but why wouldn't they be straight thread? So we're gonna figure it out right now. But I think it started. I think we might have it. I think it started instantly. Why? It's the only tool we got. Better make it work. I think we finally got it. It really helps if you can get your head in there. It's so hard to get these things straight. Well, now we're in here doing the old wrench on wrench to try to tighten up our plugs. I got a crescent wrench hooked up to a 10 millimeter. That's the wrong thing to be using, but it's what we have, and we got to make this thing work. But I think it's tightened up. I'm gonna get 1 or 2 more rounds on this thing, and then I think we're gonna try to start it for the first time in a long time. All right, guys, we've got some water running into the engine and the jet pump. You see any leaks back there around the engine? It sounds like it's all coming out the back. 2, 3, 4. Hadn't had any fuel in it in 6 months. There we go. Oh, she's still mad. I don't know if this even has. I don't think it has an electric choke or anything. Come on, find idle, find your fuel. There we go. 40 PSI. It sounds so good! You gotta love this thing. I'm gonna put my meter on here and make sure it's charging. If I know one of the gauges doesn't work, and the temp gauge moved and the oil pressure moved and the tach worked, so I think the amp meter doesn't work. I do want to make sure we're getting some voltage out of this thing before we head out on the lake and find ourselves with a dead battery. I'm gonna shut the water off, and I think we're about ready to party though. Oh yeah, water's pouring out of the exhaust. I think we're ready to rock. Clean it up in here. Oh, you guys know the drill. I don't want to pay for fuel at the marina, so we're doing it the cheap and much harder way. You pay for convenience, but at the marina you pay a lot for convenience, that's for sure. Well, this was the wrong day for the jet boat. Oh! Grand is ocean today, and I should have known. We tried to get out early this morning, but we started working on this at 7. Now it's noon, and we finally have it running. It's crazy. And this guy is trying to hit us here. You can't steer away from him. Oh well, we got it running. Well, there you go. Another successful weekend at the abandoned mini resort and cleaning things up like the boat problem I have now. So we brought this one back to Wichita and it is for sale. So if you're interested in, I think, a 1977 Spectra jet boat with a big block, that was an absolute blast all day on the water, except for the fact that it was a little rough for it. On a smoother day, you'll probably have the best day of your life on this boat. It's for sale. Email me, smoke signals, whatever you got. Just get a hold of me if you want a really cool jet boat. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.watchjrgo.com for cool shirts, not like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you next time. A lot of you guys have been wondering what's going on with the abandoned mini resort, and I'm going to give you a quick update here because it's basically completely together. It's not much different than the last time you saw it, but some important things we needed to knock out got done. So today, we put all the cabinets together, put the under cabinet lighting in here, and we had bought, of course, all of the cups, dishes, silverware, all that stuff. So now you can see we've got, well, that drawer's work stuff still, but cleaning supplies and silverware. It's like a real house finally. How crazy is that? So we have all of the kitchen put together and usable now, and toe kick was obviously today's project. We got that done. It turns on and off with the lights, which is sweet. And I've just got a small to-do list, like I'm missing a double gang outlet cover that I mentioned 6 months ago, and still I made a list today because I keep forgetting. And just a couple little covers around the place. We've got maybe 2 little spots of touch-up paint to go. We cleaned everything, you know, the construction debris off the windows, and Eric just finished painting the outside of the doors and stuff like that. Of course, nothing's really changed in the bathroom except for the towel rack went up, and it just looks nice. So I'd say that's it. This place is ready to go after we go pick up some towels that are going to stay in this place and match. And I don't think there's really much left to do. The biggest thing that's on our to-do list is go outside and figure out what we're going to do with that old shed. You guys remember that thing. I think we're going to pull all the interior walls off. And since it's supported by those like 6-inch post beams outside, we're going to wrap it with sheet metal or siding or something like that. We haven't exactly decided what we can put together quickly, and it'll become a carport instead of what it is now, which is a mess. So there's your update on the abandoned mini resort. I know you guys were asking for one. I know she's dirty. This is all just dirt, but take a look at that flake. We'll get it detailed before she goes away.